We've always had room in our hearts for film and TV, not just on Netflix, but tape and disc and theaters. Also, God forbid that they take it all away and leave us nothing to broadcast to loyal listeners. We'll binge watch every single movie, so you don't have to. What else are we here for? Coming to you every week. Listen to us while you're busy. Luckily, we forgot to grow up. Hey everybody, it's Craig.
Hey, it's Scott.
And we're missing an Andrew because power outages, they're a thing. Turns out that you can't record, well, unless we get him out with the with like like a pedal bike,
yeah,
to turn a reel-to-reel tape, and then we convert it from the tape to digital later on.
Yeah, but we're talking about Andrew here, who
he
struggles to record this each week.
Which is funny because he's the only one who types his notes out. So he's the least technologically savvy. He got a Mac so that it would do it for him.
Yeah. And
he types his anyway.
He types his I write mine up still too. It's a very weird system we all have here.
Exactly. I've got a friggin' notebook and he's got, his type notes. But hey, we don't judge on the Forgot to Grow Up podcast unless you're into things that we don't like. Yeah, I was going to say, absolutely.
That's literally all we do.
All we do is judge, especially your taste. But today we are pandering to our American audience. Happy Thanksgiving, you weirdos. Why is it on a Thursday?
Why is it in November?
Why is it in November? We don't play football on our Thanksgiving. Why do you have to play it on yours?
These are all very weird questions. Why do you have so few actually good Thanksgiving movies for us to watch?
That's a thing we'll get into as well, because there isn't any.
There isn't. There's a big long
that's
list.
It. Episode's done. Thank you for listening this week, guys. We just discussed Thanksgiving movies.
Yep, that's it. That's all there is really to say.
We'll talk about those in a second. Then we're going to talk about what we watched this week, and I guarantee, I will bet you a Black Friday sale that what we watched this week segment is a lot longer than the Thanksgiving movies segment. I feel like we're letting Andrew down in his absence, that we're not going to be able to carry this lack of content into a longer section, because for some reason he'd be able to do that, but
he leads the tangents off a lot better.
That's the thing, which is funny because we've just gone into a pretty lengthy tangent about absolutely nothing. So let's talk about Thanksgiving movies. We're back again. We're back. Let's talk Thanksgiving movies. For a holiday that is so, I want to say, ingrained in the American culture.
Yeah.
Because they make a gigantic frickin' deal over it. There's surprisingly few that I could, first of all, that I could think of. Second of all, that I could find
that
anywhere.
Automatically pop to mind.
Which you've probably got more than I do, since mine has a grand total of 1, and I had to Google it to make sure it was actually a Thanksgiving movie.
You're talking about Charlie Brown?
No.
See, I thought you were going to have Charlie Brown. There's a Charlie Brown of Thanksgiving something.
I know, and I already mentioned that on the... see, the reason why I didn't have it written down immediately for this is because we're talking movies, and it's technically a television special. So I was going to make a case, but I'm like, I've brought it up twice. How many more times should I bring up Charlie Brown on the Forgot to Grow Up podcast? And the answer is one more time. Obviously, Thanksgiving Charlie Brown. It has to fit.
I feel like that's the only one that I could say is like a classic one that sticks out in my mind. That's like, oh yeah, that's Thanksgiving.
You know how to define the best way to define what a Thanksgiving or Christmas or any other holiday movie is does it come on TV every single year at the same time?
Yeah.
And if the answer is yes, and it's not called Die Hard, then you found yourself a holiday movie.
Exactly. And it's like, this is so like, there's so few. Like I have a list right here. It says from Wikipedia. It says list of films set around Thanksgiving. Set around Thanksgiving.
Not even Thanksgiving movies. Like here's the turkey.
Yeah, there's a scene in these movies that have Thanksgiving in it. Now there's a few, like there's National Lampoon's Thanksgiving Family Reunion. Did you know that was a thing?
Is that a film? And who the hell is in that?
Bryan Cranston is in this one.
Oh wow.
Yes, it's from 2003. That's all I know about it. But I was just like, I knew it stuck out to me because it's a National Lampoon one. But I'm like, I know this is post Chevy Chase, right? Yeah. So it's like it caught my eye immediately when I saw it, and the fact that Bryan Cranston, I'm like, what? And I just look at the cover and I'm like, oh,
It's basically I'm reading the plot summary,
Okay.
I guess. And it's which, first of all, Bryan Cranston as a young man is a strange thing to behold.
Yeah. He played some odd, like before Breaking Bad. He played some
he's such a
peculiar
weird guy.
roles. Yeah.
Oh, it's a little bit different from I was gonna say it's like Christmas Vacation, but it's not. All Mitch Snyder wants for his family is a traditional holiday feast with the relatives. The problem is that he doesn't have any. That is until he gets an invitation in the mail from his long-lost cousin Woodrow. What follows is a full-course meal of non-stop laughs when the neurotic suburbanites clash with the hippie hicks from hell in National Lampoon's most outrageous family misadventure yet. It's Christmas Vacation set around Thanksgiving without Chevy Chase and any of the good parts from the look of it.
That's what it sounds like.
All right.
Yeah, so we're pretty much 1 for 2 on Thanksgiving movies.
That one at least makes like that seems like a Thanksgiving movie. It doesn't look very good.
Yes, but at least they aimed it at Thanksgiving, and I get it. So like that makes sense. We'll give them credit for that one. But some of these are stretches. Like they've got funny people on here, and I'm like, that has one scene. It has one scene of Thanksgiving. It's how like
I've never seen Funny People, but if you told me it was a Thanksgiving movie, I would laugh at you. Probably, you're a funny person. If you
Exactly. So like this list is a little ridiculous like that. It's got grumpy old men on it, and I'm like, I don't remember if that has a scene. All I remember is grumpy old men. I don't remember any Thanksgiving. So it's like, does that count? Does it count really? I don't know.
I wouldn't qualify it as one, but
neither would I.
Yeah,
but,
exactly. We're here to discuss it. That's the point.
That's true. Then they've got Jack and Jill, which is one I've definitely not seen, so I can't speak to that one or not. It says the poster on it says his twin sister's coming for the holidays. So I'm like, okay, maybe she's coming for Thanksgiving.
That might be a Thanksgiving movie. Yeah,
that makes sense.
That sounds like a Thanksgiving movie. That's an Adam Sandler movie, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's post.
Yeah.
What's it called?
All
so I don't watch
of
it.
that.
Yeah, I think that's actually where I dropped off.
That's the one where he plays both Jack and Jill, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I don't have time for any of that.
Neither do I. That was 2011. I think that's exactly where I dropped off of him. Yeah, that's definitely where I dropped off of him. Right around that time.
I thought that was older. All right.
Yeah. It's just we're getting older.
Stop saying
that. But one I thought you would maybe bring up, which maybe is it the one you maybe have written down, is Planes, Trains, and Automobiles?
You better believe that's the one I had to look up.
Okay.
Yeah.
You get to talk about this one because I've never seen it.
I very briefly remembered as we were talking about before we started the podcast, I was thinking about what movies could possibly fit in that. It was like Planes, Trains, and Automobiles involves driving home for something, but what is it for? And so I looked it up, and it's Thanksgiving. You need to watch this one, Scott.
I think I do. We've talked about it a couple times.
John Candy and Steve Martin.
I think it's Steve. Yeah.
Steve
and
Martin.
So I definitely been meaning to watch this. I don't have a good defense as to why I haven't. I believe it's on Netflix.
I don't think it is.
No.
If it is, I know what I'm watching later. It's going to be on my list for next week, that's for sure.
And I definitely have no excuse if it is.
Yeah.
If it's not, I have a little bit more of an excuse, but not much, because my grandparents definitely had this movie kicking around my childhood.
It's a better John Candy movie than Uncle Buck, which I don't think is a very brave thing for me to say.
Yeah, that's fair. I think I saw Uncle Buck when I was a lot younger, and I think... See, the problem is a few of his roles blur in together for me. So it's like I can't remember if I saw that or if that was the scene in Home Alone that he was in. You know?
Well, he was in Home Alone, he's the Polka King of Chicago.
Yeah.
Or wherever. She runs into him at an airport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why it vaguely crosses over.
The bus.
Yeah.
But Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, I can't remember the exact... You know what? Let me just look it up. That seems like the easy thing to do here.
Yeah. No, that one, like I said, that one I don't have a really good excuse why I've never seen it. It's one of those classics I've been meaning to kind of get to because I think it's on the top 100 whatever films you're supposed to watch, which I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I didn't think, comedies don't tend to make it onto it, but I guess it's a little bit more of
it's a better movie than you think it would be.
Yeah, which is definitely like something is why I want to get to it, because I'm like, I've heard a lot of good things, and I like these two, like John Hughes, and then we got Steve Martin and John Candy. Like there's no reason why I haven't watched it except I just haven't.
Exactly. Yeah. So basically, Steve Martin's character just wants to get home for Thanksgiving. His flight gets canceled due to bad weather, so he decides to take another way to get there, which is how you end up with the title Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. They basically just kind of hack their way across wherever they're coming from to wherever they're going, and he doesn't want John Candy's character to come along with him. That's kind of the idea.
Okay. Well, so
there's
pretty
just
much
a bunch
what's
of
it called? That road trip movie? Or
it's very similar to Due Date.
That was the one, Due Date. Yeah,
with Zach Galifianakis and Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
Very similar to that, except that it was made in 1987, involves two of the funniest people from Canada, and is probably more family friendly.
Oh, that's interesting.
And features one of my favorite lines in a film that I like to quote to this day, which is, "Those aren't pillows," referring to John Candy's butt. 'Cause Steve Martin falls asleep in the car on John Candy's butt. Yeah, anyway. That was the point in the bit.
Great.
See, does it not sound like a fantastic
that
film?
That does sound great. Like I said, did you see if it was on Netflix?
I did not get that far.
Okay.
I got distracted looking up the synopsis. I will look that
fair.
up. That was the only thing that was on my list of Thanksgiving movies. So you can continue on with the actual list.
Yeah, so I'm just flipping through
that
the ones that I've actually seen.
That one's
and
the
I'm like,
only legitimate Thanksgiving movie that I'll put on that list. That and the other one that you mentioned about Jack and Jill.
Jack and Jill seem like it.
It pains me to say that it can be on the list.
Yeah, we'll give it to them, even though I haven't seen it and I don't plan to. The next one I'm seeing that I'm like, is Tower Heist. I don't know if you saw this one. That was with
That's the one with Alan Alda in it, isn't it?
He might be one of them. I know it's got Ben Stiller and Eddie Murphy. They're the two main ones.
I feel like I've seen
everyone
this.
else I couldn't tell you. Like I'm
pretty sure Alan Alda's the antagonist in this film. Yeah, he is. I've seen this.
Okay. Yeah.
I can't remember the plot though, but yeah, like Ben Stiller, Eddie Murphy, Casey Affleck, Alan Alda, Matthew Broderick, Judd Hirsch. There's a handful of people in this movie.
So I remember like them robbing something.
Yeah, the whole point is that they're ripping off Alan Alda because he's like a jerk or something.
Is it happening during Thanksgiving then?
Josh Kovacs is the manager of a high-rise condominium in New York. He's close to all the tenants, especially financier Arthur Shaw, who is Alan Alda. One day, Shaw is arrested by the FBI for fraud. Josh thinks it's a misunderstanding that can be resolved, but later he learns that the employee's pension fund, which he asked Shaw to handle, is gone. When one of the employees tries to kill himself, Josh's view of Shaw... Wow, this is a lot darker than I thought. Views of Shaw change. He goes to see him and loses his temper in his job. The FBI agent in charge tells him that Shaw might walk and recovering the pension fund is unlikely. She tells him it's been rumored that Shaw has $20 million lying around. Thinks he knows where it is. Two other fired employees and evicted tenant rob him. Nothing about Thanksgiving.
Okay, so my only guess is the reason it's on this list is maybe it happens during the Thanksgiving parade.
And they might make reference to Thanksgiving because they've lost their money and stuff like that. I don't know. One of the plot keywords is Ponzi scheme, but this is very clearly not one. So I don't know.
Okay, we're taking that off the list.
Doesn't qualify. So far we have 2 out of what, like 10?
No, I've gone through like 100.
All
I
right.
just half of these
So
I
we
haven't
have
even
2.
seen. You know, we got to give Garfield's Thanksgiving, I guess, credit, but that's a TV film, so I don't know if we're counting it.
Yeah, but so is National Lampoon's Holiday Reunion.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, okay,
So
fair enough.
that was just a TV movie.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a lot of cartoon ones that did, like Alvin and the Chipmunks have a Thanksgiving celebration. That's a TV film. So there's a few cartoon ones, but I've never seen them. So we'll give it to ones that have it in the name. You know what I mean? If it says Thanksgiving in the name, clearly you're about Thanksgiving. So I'll give it to you for the most part. I'm not going to argue with them because I haven't seen a lot of these. So yeah, I'm mainly bringing up the ones I've seen on this list that I'm like, I don't know if this makes the list or not. Like You've Got Mail. I've never seen that, to be honest. But I know it's about people emailing each other. I don't know if that has to do with Thanksgiving though.
Let's look it up real quick.
Okay.
We got nothing else to do. It's got Tom Hanks in it,
We
which
got
I
to make
seem
up
to
some time. We
remember.
don't have Exy here to help.
Exactly. All he'd do is tell us about how he saw it, and we need to get our heads out of our asses. So...
Yeah, it is Tom Hanks, and I don't know why, but Meg Ryan for some reason seems like something that he'd want us to like, like another reason
Maybe.
he would like that movie. But I don't know. I don't want to speak for him.
I just like Tom Hanks, but I don't think I'd watch this movie. Two business rivals who despise each other in real life unwittingly fall in love over the internet. There's nothing about Thanksgiving here.
Okay, so it just
So,
happens.
we're
Literally, some of these I swear just happened in November, and that's why it's on this list.
Or they come out in November.
That's
Because
fair.
like that was the case with. No, this one was released 18th of December 1998. It was a Christmas movie,
See, like no.
but it's not actually a Christmas movie because it doesn't say anything about Christmas.
Which one is that?
That's You Got Mail.
Okay.
I'm still looking.
Like I feel like they put it during like they'll say during the holiday season and then they'll be
Yeah,
like, oh yeah,
well,
it falls under
it's
these
'cause
two.
the
It's like, well, that's
Americans are-
December and November for some in America, pretty much.
The Americans have so many holidays that they're just like, here, have a Columbus Day and have a day off when the Canadians have their Thanksgiving, and here, have another day off here. And let's just put our Thanksgiving on a Thursday and really close to Christmas so that, by the time you unpack yourself Thursday night after dinner and you go out shopping on Friday morning, like you might as well just stay in bed until Christmas because it's all just one big long happy holiday season. I'm not bitter, Scott.
No, the thing I was just thinking is like we can't say too much though because us Canadians invented Family Day because we didn't have a day off in February.
You know why? I'm going to say it's mental health. That's going to be my
Yeah, that's
my
the thing they
claim.
came up with too. Then
And
they
I
made
will
2 more
fight
civil
that.
holidays since Family Day, which they haven't even named yet. They're just like, yeah, we
Remembrance
needed
Day.
days off in January or July and something else.
Well, they made Remembrance Day technically a holiday. I mean, I didn't get it, but some people do.
Well, it was on a Sunday this year.
Yeah, I know,
so-
but it's supposed to fall on the Monday then. That was a bank holiday.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, the Americans got the Monday off because it was Veterans Day.
Yes.
If you're American, you listen to this, please correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure our Armistice Day actually falls on the 11th, like our Remembrance Day does, and then they have their own Veterans Day where they do their veterans thing,
I believe so too.
and then they get a day off for that.
Which they should for veterans. But that's fair.
Lazy Americans.
That's fair. I support that one. I feel like Remembrance Day is another one. We should definitely make it a holiday, at least for,
For weekdays
People-
when you so that you can have the day off and go to the cenotaph and stuff.
yeah, and to like the war memorial here in Ottawa, because
Yeah,
I live in our
exactly.
nation's capital, Canada. Canada's nation capital for
Yeah.
our international listener.
Everybody who
I love making small listener joke, like audience jokes. It's
One day we're gonna have a lot of listeners,
and it'll be
Maybe
even
if we-
funnier then.
If we ever cut down our episode length, because that's something I've given thought to. But if we ever cut down our episode length to something that's manageable by normal human beings,
yeah,
then we'll have more than 2 listeners, and that joke will be so much funnier. Right now, it's just a sad truth. It's kind of...
let's just
kinda
get back to Thanksgiving before we talk about it more.
All right, more Thanksgiving movies. And hit me with something else, Scott.
Okay,
Come
so
on.
we just got through all the comedies that I knew that were on this that I wanted to debate about. Now we're on to dramas that
Oh
fall
my
under
God.
the set
Dramas
around
under a
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving movie? That sounds terrible. Why would you make a dramatic holiday movie?
Well, some of these again, I'm like The Blind
Looking
Side's a
at you,
football movie.
Diet.
It maybe
Yeah,
has one
that's not a
Thanksgiving scene in
movie.
it. Yeah.
I mean, props to Michael Lewis because he wrote that, and I love him. But that's not a Thanksgiving movie.
Yeah, again, like just because football season falls around the same time as Thanksgiving doesn't mean that it's a
Right back to
Thanksgiving
the
movie.
Americans again.
So the next one I see is Brokeback Mountain. I've never seen that, so I can't speak to that. It could have been
No.
happening. I don't know what they were doing in the mountains. I don't want to speak to
Maybe
that.
it was over Thanksgiving.
Maybe they're having a nice turkey dinner. I don't know.
They
So
probably were.
what were you to say?
I don't know. That's a euphemism, maybe. I don't know. I said they probably were, so I'm making it a euphemism. It is now.
Fair enough. Okay, so we'll say that's a maybe on the list. I haven't seen it, so I can't speak to it. Next one is Castaway, which I vaguely remember him.
That
Maybe-
cannot be a Thanksgiving movie.
Yeah, because
I
he's on the
don't-
island for multiple Thanksgivings, if anything.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like he's there for the day and he's like, well, shit, now I got to shoot a turkey.
Yeah, I think this one falls under just because either he, like when he
Celebrates
crashes,
Thanksgiving there
I think
by
it's
himself,
over Thanksgiving,
or he's
is when
on
he
his
crashes.
way home from Thanksgiving, or
Yeah, maybe that's after he gets rescued. It's Thanksgiving, maybe. I don't know.
that's a stretch.
That's a super stretch. We're not going to count that one. Let's see. Giant. Do I know Giant? No, that's definitely not one I know. 1956. Yeah, no, definitely not. I was like, that sounds like something that maybe I saw. So both the Rockies are on here. I haven't seen the first two Rockies in a very long time.
I mean, neither.
Again, I think this is one of those cases where it falls around winter, and they're like, yeah, it's a Thanksgiving movie. And I'm like, I don't know about that. Yeah.
No. What I like most about this discussion that we're having about what makes a Thanksgiving movie and what doesn't is that by our own definition now, no one can say Die Hard is a Christmas movie, and that just makes me happy because it's not.
Yeah, I've never been one of those people who supported that. I was just like,
Okay, good.
It's an action movie. Like,
so-
I'm fine with you wanting to watch it during Christmas. Like,
Yeah,
that's fine if it's your holiday movie, but it's
Yeah.
not a Christmas movie. It's just one you watch
Nope.
during Christmas. Like,
But now the Forgot to Grow Up podcast has an official stance on it, so that just makes
minus,
me feel.
we have a 2/3 stance because we can't speak for Andrew.
Well, we've outvoted him. If we can't,
That's fair.
if a
That's
summer
true, too.
blockbuster has to happen after the May 2/4 weekend, then,
Yeah, I think we're allowed to designate
then-
this movie doesn't take place only on the 25th of December.
It does, though. That's the problem. It's just not based around Christmas. That's the point.
Yeah,
Anyway.
no, that's true.
Fight
True,
us.
True. That's the
Continue.
whole other topic. Yeah, so besides the Rockies, the only other one I see one movie that's called Straight Thanksgiving. It's a 2004 American short film.
American short film?
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to count that.
That's well, I can't even find it.
Yep, so that's why I'm not going to count it.
I find movies called, hang on, Love at the Thanksgiving Day Parade, a Charlie Brown Thanksgiving, so thank you very much for,
Yeah.
what else have I got? The Thanksgiving House, an old-fashioned Thanksgiving, Thanksgiving Family Reunion, Thanksgiving from 2016, Thanksgiving from 2014, Thanksgiving Day from 1990. See more results. Has Mary Tyler Moore in it.
I've never heard of any of these.
Thanksgiving 2007 short. Is that the one? Did you say 2007?
Yeah, I think I did. Sorry, I was scrolling more.
No.
Let's say yes. Let's say yes while I'm trying to find it again. Oh, 2004. I can't remember if you said 2004.
That makes
or not.
more sense. This is parody of the Thrillers movie trailers.
Okay,
It's
then.
got one hell of a cover, and no one's in it.
Yeah,
But
that
there are
sounds
such characters as the deputy and the cheerleader and the vomiting cousin and the human turkey.
right. The human turkey.
Yeah, it's a horror.
That sounds like a very, very shitty movie.
short. Yeah, it does. All right, onward and upward from that
Yeah.
mess.
So the rest of the dramas are just a wash. I haven't seen any of these or heard of any of these, and I don't think maybe a time to remember you might know. I don't know.
It
Sounds
sounds
like something
familiar,
that
but
sounds
guess
familiar,
what?
but-
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, I haven't seen either. Now we're on to family movies, and there's a couple
I
on
bet you
this.
there's piles of them.
There's actually not as many as you'd think, because I think a lot of them they put under like the comedy section
Yeah.
as opposed to family. But a couple of these I'm like very questionable, like Miracle on 34th Street. I have not
That's
seen
a
this.
Christmas movie.
Yes.
You dumb idiots.
Its justification here just says spanning from Thanksgiving to Christmas, and I'm like, well,
Technically, Christmas Vacation does.
a lot of things do too, just because how short
Yeah.
that period is. It's 2 weeks.
Yeah. Well, it's a month, but
Yeah.
I guess it seems like it when you watch the movie and they got like the advent calendar thing going, and I'm pretty sure that at one point early in the movie they're watching the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, and then it goes into Christmas. So I guess I'd have a hard time calling it a Thanksgiving movie, but I will start watching it on American Thanksgiving and watch it every single day until Christmas, because that's just what you do.
Yeah, no, I get that. And I wouldn't argue against it as a Christmas movie. The only thing I would say against it being a Thanksgiving is both the descriptions on Wikipedia for like the 1947 and like the two remakes since. It says American Christmas and then comedy drama film or you know what I mean? It's not like American Christmas, Thanksgiving, or American holiday. It says Christmas. So
Yeah.
I don't know. The next one is the Santa Claus, and I'm like, that's
Definitely
literally
not Thanksgiving.
yes.
That will be featured on our Christmas episode.
Exactly. And it says in the thing, it says spanning a year. And
Yep.
I'm like, well, it's a whole freaking year. Yeah, Thanksgiving happens once a year. Like
Twice a year if you're close to the border.
That's true. That's true. And if if you're like us and decide to celebrate it by recording 2 different Thanksgiving episodes.
When you're lazy producers. We know how to make content. It's fine.
It's going to be one of our next parody songs. We'll leave that to Andrew. He's really good with those.
He is better at writing. Yeah, he wrote our theme, technically. Well,
Did he? Okay.
he
That was
wrote,
collaborative.
he wrote
one.
a lot of the words, but I already had written a song that is the song that we used. Anyway, that's not important
Yeah.
today.
We're
We're
done with the
talking
family
Thanksgiving.
films.
Yeah, we're almost done, aren't we?
Yeah, we're pretty much done.
I can feel that ramping down.
There's a list of horror ones that I just want to list off the
Horror
names just 'cause
Thanksgiving films.
they're
All right,
just-
hit
it's
me
just-
with it.
some of them are just kind of interesting. The first one's just alien abduction incident in Lake County. It's from 1998, and it's a family is terrorized by extraterrestrial creatures while celebrating Thanksgiving. That sounds like it counts. I just like the name. The next one is Blood Rage. A psychopath goes on a homicidal rampage after the twin brother he framed for murder years earlier escapes on Thanksgiving.
Ooh, all right, that counts too. I'll
These
take that.
horror ones are doing the best job so far of actually like involving
Because it's actually
Thanksgiving.
happening on Thanksgiving, yeah.
So I'm counting both of these. Next one is Blood Freak.
All right.
Giant turkey monster. That's
Yeah.
the only description. Only description. And that's all you need. That says Thanksgiving in the name.
Giant turkey monster.
Yeah, that's from
That sounds like a
1972.
Forgot to Grow Up episode title.
That's what I was thinking too. Okay.
That is right in our wheelhouse.
Yes, it is. The next one I got is Boogeyman, which is from 2005. Around Thanksgiving, a man is stalked by the entity that haunted his childhood.
I could see that.
Yeah.
That's like a metaphor for bad family Thanksgivings. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm down with that.
Yeah. Next one's just Home Sweet Home. An escaped mental patient embarks on a killing spree over Thanksgiving weekend. Again, that's literally the Thanksgiving versus Halloween. I like it. I'm down for it. Now we're getting into like the straight. You guys were not very creative with this name, but I'm cool with it. Thanksgiving.
2007 short film.
Yep. Well, there's the 2006 one, and then there's a 2007 one.
Okay, the 2007 short. We already talked about that.
Yeah, the 2006 one says 2 couples are taken captive and tortured by a sadist during Thanksgiving dinner. And then after this, I see Thanksgiving.
Ooh.
2009, a group of students are hunted by a demonic turkey during Thanksgiving break.
Man, these guys win. The horror movies are so much better than Yeah, my thought would be, why would you make a holiday movie that isn't a comedy? Like, why make a drama holiday movie? That sounds terrible.
That sounds depressing. Like, I don't
Or
want
at
more
least
depressed.
a family movie.
Yeah.
Like A Miracle on 34th Street for Christmas, like a holiday movie should at least be, entertaining.
Yeah,
and not
no, I agree.
dramatic and sad. But these horror films are great.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, I'm like, I like this, and I endorse all these. They all seem to all have under
want to
$500
watch
million
the
in budget.
Yeah, I want to watch the giant turkey ones, but
Yeah.
I don't like horror movies. It's
Yeah,
a
I'm right there with
catch-22.
Okay, we're done with the horror ones. All we got left is musical. There's only 2. I've never heard of either of them. And then we're going
Cool.
to thrillers. I haven't
Jeez.
heard of any of them, but one's by Alfred Hitchcock, North
Oh.
by Northwest.
Does it have turkeys in it?
It had Cary Grant, so I feel like this is a classic, so we can't just walk past it, but I've
by
never seen it.
Northwest. Cary
So-
Grant.
Yeah, I know this is definitely one of those classics that I'm supposed to have watched.
A
Haven't
hapless
gotten
New
to it.
York City advertising executive is mistaken for a government agent by a group of foreign spies and is pursued across the country while he looks for a way to survive.
That doesn't sound very Thanksgiving-y. That just sounds like it takes place in November.
It doesn't feel like a...
All right, we're not counting it. Sorry, Alfred
Sorry,
Hitchcock.
Cary Grant. Yeah. The tagline, it's a deadly game of tag and Cary Grant is it.
Doesn't say cluck cluck or anything about a demon turkey. Doesn't count.
Nope.
The only other one I see on this list before we're done is just under other. It says The Last Waltz, and then, which is a documentary film directed by Martin Scorsese, and about the bands.
Yeah, that's, I was going to say, that's a music documentary.
Yeah. And then same with, there's also The Doors here, which I know is also is a biopic, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a biopic with about Jim Morrison starring Val Kilmer is what this says.
I cannot believe this is about to happen.
Yeah.
But The Last Waltz is a Thanksgiving movie.
No, The Last Waltz, it said it does seem like it took place
Thanksgiving
on Thanksgiving Day.
Thanksgiving 1976, San Francisco's Winterland Theater. The band performs its last concert after 16 years on the road.
Yeah, no, that one definitely counts, like especially since it's a documentary. That seems like a good one. That one I kind of want to watch, to be honest. I don't know anything about any of those, but it sounds interesting to me.
The band is good. The band consists of a lot of very good musicians.
I'm not a fan of their name, but
And
I'm looking at like the list.
You know why they're called the band?
You know, I'm seeing that now, like with all these big names. I'm like, oh no, you guys definitely were the band.
No, they're called the band because they were Bob Dylan's backup band.
Oh,
So
okay.
it was Bob Dylan and the band.
Gotcha.
And
Okay.
so they were just like, all right, well, we're the band.
And then and that explains why they got like the road, like all the.
And then they've got like Lee Von Helm, Robbie Robertson, Eric Clapton,
Neil Diamond.
Yeah, well, those are just guys that are performing outside of it, but yeah.
Okay.
Ridiculous band.
That sounds like I really definitely want to check that one out. That one's going on my list.
Robbie Robertson. Yeah, no,
I can find it.
I've never seen it, but it's worth it. Robbie Robertson's Canadian. He's from Toronto.
I like it. I'm interested. I'm very curious about this one. This one I'm just kind of interested. I like it's particularly because it's Martin Scorsese, and I'm like, he did a documentary. Yeah. Kind of that like sparks my curiosity more.
Back
like,
in '78 about
Yeah.
something very important. I'm just looking at something right here. Oh, Lee Von Helm. I was just looking to see. Lee Von Helm's been in a bunch of stuff.
I don't know who
That's
that is.
He's a member of the band.
Okay, gotcha.
He's a guy.
He's a guy.
He was. A guy.
Well, I've made it to the end of
That's
this
it.
list. That's all I got for you.
Yay! I can't believe we did it.
We did something. We got like
we
half
spent
hour
a
to
lot
that.
longer on that. Yeah, jeez. But that brings us to our favorite segment.
Craig, what
we
did you watch
watched
this week?
What did I watch this week? Well, this week I watched Airplane.
Nice.
Yeah, Airplane is not on Netflix anymore. I was very disappointed.
That is disappointing.
But it is on Prime Video. So
that's a bonus.
You can always watch Airplane because it's on somewhere.
Yeah, that's one thing I've noticed a lot lately too, is they seem to just be like when they leave Netflix, like give it a week or two and they'll pop up on Prime
something
a lot
else.
of the time.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. I'll find it somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I'll hunt you down, Airplane. Always, until I buy you on Amazon, because I will break down eventually and just do it.
Yeah.
But you know what I learned about Airplane this week, and that's why I was watching it, because I saw a post about it on Reddit, and I was like, I haven't seen Airplane in a while. I'm going to watch it again.
All right. What was that?
They cast the movie deliberately with very serious actors.
Okay.
Like Leslie Nielsen had never done a comedy before Airplane, and a lot of the other actors had never done a comedy before Airplane, and they did that deliberately so that they would deliver the lines very very seriously, and that
Very
would
deadpan.
add to the and that would add to the comedy value of it, and it freaking worked.
That's brilliant. That sparked off pretty much his Naked Gun career.
Well,
and stuff.
it was it gave him popularity because no one really, well, I don't want to say no one, but no one right now knows what Leslie Nielsen was in before he was in Airplane and then The Naked Gun and Police Squad.
That's
so.
Well, in our defense, a lot of that happened before.
Exactly.
We were
That's
born,
why
so.
I said no one now, because we're all young people who weren't even alive to see Airplane.
Yeah, I was just born knowing that he was in a bunch of stuff. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah, exactly. And all of it's really entertaining, and his delivery's fantastic.
Oh yeah.
And that's what makes that's what makes that movie particularly entertaining is the fact that they're serious actors who don't do comedy bits.
Yeah,
And
they're
just
all
like,
coming in
"Here,
doing
deliver your
ready for
lines."
drama.
Exactly. Here, deliver your lines. And they do it very well. With
Oh,
a
they
lot of
do.
excellent bits.
That's
So,
one of those
because I-
timeless ones.
Exactly.
Almost.
Well, you can always go back and watch Airplane.
Yeah.
There's
agree.
nothing wrong with it. There's a couple things where you're like, that's not funny anymore. Or
Yeah.
you have to know why it was funny back then for it to be funny now, especially like around the airport itself, because of how much airports have changed in our lifespan,
Definitely.
much less from the 80s. So, yeah, you look at it and you're like, that's funny. Like even the cab scene.
Yeah, there's so much
how
in
many
that I'm
cabs
like,
have
oh
you
yeah, you
been?
could not get away with any of that.
Exactly. So all of that makes that movie very entertaining. There are parts of it that are obviously horrible.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking.
From a nowadays perspective, however, I don't like to look at things through that lens.
Yeah, no, I'm a little bit
especially
better
with-
at like looking at it from at the
Yeah.
time, and I
So there's the one scene where Ted, our main character and the hero of the story, unwittingly,
yeah,
with a drinking problem, he's telling a story, and everybody that he tells a story to ends up killing themselves in some really horrible way because he just drones on and on and on. So the first old lady he's telling the story to, she hangs herself. And then the second guy he's talking to is a Japanese man, and he stabs himself in the stomach with a sword.
yeah, and that's
And
a
then-
little.
Yeah, well, which, is what it is. And then the third's a Middle Eastern gentleman with a turban on, and he takes gasoline and pours it all over himself and then goes to light himself on fire, like, who definitely looks like a white guy in what
Yeah.
amounts to blackface. So
Yeah,
do
that's a whole
with
lot of
that-
problems wrapped into one little turban.
do with that what you will. We don't deal with that because it happened already. So you know what? That's my perspective on it. It's not cool and would not happen again.
Yeah.
Same thing with the jive talking black men.
Yeah, that
Hilarious scene, but definitely not something that.
yeah, I
would
don't think you
happen
could
again.
crucify it for now in hindsight. It's
exactly.
not very fair.
Especially since it's like it's not like it's making it's not implying that that's all what black people are either. It's because Kareem Abdul-Jabbar very clearly is not
Yes.
only capable of speaking jive. He's
Yeah.
capable of being Roger Murdoch because he is not Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So I watched that
Yep.
before we devolve into a social commentary.
Yeah, we definitely want.
and
It's so
Exactly.
funny that when there's just two people, we end up going into like very like serious
Weird
kind of
things.
topics.
We don't
Yeah.
want to talk about the serious stuff. We got to talk about the fun stuff.
Yeah.
Hot Shots. I went and watched Hot Shots because I was like, I've watched Airplane. Now I got to watch Airplane's younger brother.
Yep.
Entertaining.
I have not seen that since I was a kid, which is a terrible thing to say out loud.
you should watch it again. I hadn't seen it until Andrew gave me the DVD for my birthday.
That's
yeah,
hilarious. That makes sense though.
that's-
There's certain scenes that I'm like, oh, your parents would not have let you watch that as when you were younger.
Yeah. I'm glad I watched Top Gun first because that makes way more sense once
It
you've
makes
seen
so
both.
much. Yeah, which in my defense as a child, I had them slightly overlapping in certain things. Mainly the egg cracking scene. I couldn't remember which one that was until I eventually
is
learned in my life what a
absolutely
spoof
Hot
movie
Shots.
actually was. Yeah.
Yes, that is absolutely Hot Shot.
Yeah, no, I know that now in hindsight, but there was definitely a point in my life I could not have told you the difference.
Yeah, that's funny. I've seen it now twice all the way through, and I realized just how many other actors there are like in that movie. Because the first time through, it's like, oh look, it's Charlie Sheen
Yeah.
and John Cryer and a handful of other people that I recognize. But then I realized that Ryan Stiles is in it.
Snap.
The guy
Yeah.
from
Who's
Whose
on
Line?
his
Yeah.
downer, yeah.
Yeah, you don't see his face, but you can hear his voice, and I never really heard it the first time. But then I was like, holy shit, that's Ryan Stiles.
That's great.
And the guy that plays Marshall's dad in How I Met Your Mother, he's in it.
Oh, yes, okay. Yeah.
And
I was
the lady
blanking for a second. Now I'm
Yeah.
remembering. Big guy.
Yeah, they are Charlie Sheen's. I can't remember which one's which, but Marshall's dad is Charlie Sheen's dad in the movie,
Okay.
and Ryan Stiles is Carrie Elway's dad in the movie, which is funny because Ryan Stiles has dark hair and so does Charlie Sheen, and Carrie Elway's and Marshall's dad have blonde hair. But anyway, that's not important right now. And the lady who plays the Navy psychiatrist, she's in I'm pretty sure she's in Zoolander too. She's the Interpol agent.
Oh, I think so too. I think I literally looked her up recently for some reason.
Yeah, I just clued in as I was watching. I was like, I've seen you as swimsuit model. So I watched that. I watched European Vacation for the first time ever.
Oh, nice. You got to that.
Yeah, that I'm looking forward to Vegas Vacation because I found the trifecta on DVD for $8.
Yes.
Vacation, European Vacation, Vegas Vacation. I already have Vacation, but whatever.
Yeah.
So I watched European Vacation. Is all right. There's nothing particularly special about that movie.
Was it a little too much of a copycat?
It was a little bit too much of them trying to do the same thing all over again. A lot more nudity than the original Vacation.
Yeah, well, they had the excuse with Europe.
Which is funny because I was looking at the ratings and Vacation is 14A.
Yeah.
And European Vacation's PG.
That's maybe in between those two, the rating systems changed in the US.
We got a little bit liberal. I don't know.
Yeah.
But now I'm sort of looking forward to Vegas Vacation, but not really.
No, I understand that.
I was hoping that European Vacation would at least be like, it's not as good, but it's all right. No, it was just all right. I was about halfway through and went, I cannot believe I'm still watching this. How much more time is left?
Oh, that's rough. That's never a good sign for a movie.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it was late at night.
That's
fair. Coming home from playing Ultimate, and I was like, I just want to watch this and then go to bed. And then it's like, oh my gosh,
this is dragging on. Yeah, you never want that, especially from like a comedy. You
Exactly.
never want the phrase "dragging on" to go because it's not like they're 2-hour movies usually.
Nope. So it was good, but it wasn't great. That's what I'll go with. I continued watching Life in Pieces season 3. I'm still not done it because I had all this other stuff to watch.
Yeah.
I can't decide where I want to go next with this. I'm going to talk about the fact that I've seen like 2 episodes of Daredevil.
Oh.
Accidentally. It's an all right show. I can't grasp the concept of it yet, but I'm getting there. It's season 1. My brother's watching it, so sometimes I'll just sit down and I'll have it on. And so I'll be scrolling through something and watching it in the background. It makes a little sense. I don't think I'm going to pick it up and watch it just because, but
yeah, no, it's funny because that's considered the best of the Netflix ones.
That makes a lot of sense to me, which explains why I'm kind of almost enjoying it, but definitely wouldn't sit down and watch it because it's just a little bit too much dragging drama for me, and that's not my kind of thing.
That's the number one criticism I would give to all the Netflix Marvel ones too. Like that's why I would never recommend them to most people, to be honest, because they drag them on too long, and they're like,
they got to milk it for a season, right? And everything else that we consume Marvel-wise is done in 6 2-hour movies
for the most part. Because I do watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which is one of the 24 episode season things. But
yeah, I tried that. I don't know if I've mentioned that on this podcast, but I did try watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. for like 3 weeks and went, nope.
Yeah,
I can't handle
I could see that. Again,
long.
It's one of those ones like I love it.
It's just so much of the same thing for me. That's what I didn't like about it.
And it's for me, it falls into one of those like problem of the week shows or monster of the week shows that I just love because I love the cast and I love the world they're in.
That helps.
Yeah. Well, that helps exactly, and that's the only reason those are the kind of shows that I'm like, I'm not trying to get other people to watch because I'm like, yeah, no, I love them. Like it's fine, I love it. Like same with like The Librarians, which I mentioned a couple weeks ago. Like I love that show, but you guys wouldn't like it. It's like it's too campy. It's a problem of the week again is literally problem of the week with that one, and it's
yeah, I could not. I don't think I could handle that. I prefer to stick with my other shows that are just off the wall strange. I'm gonna leave my trailer off of my list, and we'll talk about it when we talk about yours because we probably watched the same trailer. I'm gonna go into the last thing I watched this week, which have you seen this show on Netflix yet, Scott? I don't know how much Netflix you watch, but I'm sure it recommended it to you. It's this little show. It's a sci-fi original. It's called Happy.
Oh, see, it's interesting. I haven't watched that yet, but because it was on Sci-Fi actually. Like I think it was a Sci-Fi show, so I was
it's a
planning
Sci-Fi
to
original.
watch that before, but then I couldn't get it online. So I'm really happy it's on there. I haven't gotten to watching it yet though.
I have watched 8 of the 10 episodes.
Oh snap! You
They
liked
are
it, didn't you?
45-minute episodes starring Christopher Maloney
And Patton Oswalt.
And Patton Oswalt as Happy.
Yes.
The basic principle, without giving away a lot of it, is that Christopher Maloney's character is a disgraced cop, and he becomes he's become a hitman after getting fired from the New York Police Department. He basically becomes a killer for hire. He's got all kinds of problems. He's a drug addict.
Yeah.
Like street drugs. He's addicted to painkillers and things like that. He's an alcoholic. He's got a very homeless look about him.
Yes, I noticed that.
Believes that he's invincible.
Oh.
And within the first episode, he begins to be followed around by a flying blue unicorn.
Yes.
That
Happy.
Happy, who is an imaginary friend, but not his imaginary friend.
Oh, that's the part I didn't know, and I love that idea. Like, just you saying that, I'm like, oh, I want to watch that.
So that is weird enough. But holy shit.
It gets more?
This is the weirdest show I've ever watched in my entire life.
I'm so intrigued.
I don't know what kind of cable channel Sci-Fi is, but they're my new best friends because they allow whatever, whenever, and however you'd like it.
Sci-Fi has some of my favorite sci-fi shows.
I've never, and the weirdest thing is that it takes until the 8th freaking episode for there to be an actual sci-fi twist.
Yeah, that happens with some of those.
It's just a strange show at first. You're like, it's really weird that I can weirdly accept that this kid's imaginary friend has come to him and he can see the imaginary friend.
Yeah.
We haven't explained why, but like I can get there.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden there's weird stuff happening, and then that's where your sci-fi twist is, and I'm like, oh, okay. It's just one weird, gruesome, makes you want to throw up or something else turn after another. There's so much blood in this show. It's silly.
That actually sounds like a couple of their other ones. Like one of their other ones is my favorite and only zombie show I watch, called Z Nation. That's it. Z Nation. That's by Sci-Fi too, and that is the bloodiest of zombie ones you get.
I don't think I could handle that because it wants to be a zombie show. Happy just has a thing about it where it's hilarious.
Yeah.
But it's so fucked up that it's
really intriguing
it's
me.
Like, how do you do this? But also, why are you so funny? Like, there's one bit, I can't even remember what happens. So like, there's no title sequence. They do a recap at the beginning of every episode.
All right.
But there's no theme song and all this stuff like that you go skip on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
It just, at one point, there's like a bell ding sound, and it shows Happy, like the big colorful letters on the screen, and then it disappears for a second. It usually coincides with something.
Okay.
I can't even remember what it is, but Happy ends up like hitting the ground on the thing, and it's like it's something gross. I can't remember what it is, but it's something really gross. And he like hits the ground with like a squelch, and it goes ding with the Happy thing on it. It was the funniest thing. The show has made I've never wanted to throw up watching something, but twice. I've had to pause the show and get up and walk and be like, all right, we need to water something, because like this show is insane.
That's
Scott,
crazy.
you need to watch it.
I'll definitely be watching that this weekend, especially since it's nice short 10 episodes.
It's 10 45-minute episodes.
That I can get in a day. I can do in a day.
It's a bruiser, but the worst part is I watched half of it in one sitting because So I sat down to eat dinner, and I was like, I'm going to put something on, but I don't want to watch something I really want to get invested in, because I'm going to sit down and eat, and then I'm going to get up and walk away. So I don't want to put on Life in Pieces, because I'll watch like 6 episodes of it because I love it. So I was like, let's try out this happy show. Like, it's got Christopher Maloney in it. I love that guy. He's hilarious. What's he been in recently? Nothing, right? All right. Let's do this up. 4 episodes later.
Yeah.
All right, time for bed.
3.5 hours. 3 hours later.
Yeah.
Shit. Yeah. No, I'm definitely curious about this show. I think it's based off a comic.
I don't know, but you need to put everything else on the back burner.
Well, see, I just finished Ballers. Oh, that kind of leads into my list. I just finished some stuff, so that leaves open needs to watch something. I might as well go since it's...
Welcome to a natural segue. That's the last thing I watched because that's been all-consuming. Because what else do you do when you start the show that has completely messed with your mind? Like, this is Damages level. Even worse than Damages in terms of being fucked up. Like, Damages was strange.
Yeah.
This show is just insane.
And I love
And
insane.
I love it. And I'm going to recommend it to everybody.
Okay.
Because it's that kind of brain hurting, I guess.
See, I like a good brain hurt. I'm down. I'm definitely gonna check that out. Like I said, I just finished watching Ballers season 3, which leads me into what I watched this week. So I just finished season 3. I have more to say with Andrew since he watches that. I don't think you keep up with Ballers, do you?
I've watched a couple episodes. It's entertaining. I don't think I could get like full into it.
Yeah. See, lucky it's not. Like, I managed to make it through the season, but that's only because, like I said, they're half-hour... Well, I didn't say that. They're half-hour episodes, and they're only 10-episode seasons. So it's really short, really quick. I like it just because The Rock's kind of... I like The Rock's charisma, even though he's not his most charismatic in these. But it's a good background show for me. But yeah, it's okay. I could see why you wouldn't really watch it, though. Cause, I don't know how... I could not recommend it to anybody because I'm I don't know why I watch it other than The Rock's in it. I couldn't tell you any other reason. And the guy whose name I always forget, he was in Hot Tub Time. I think he was in Hot Tub Time Machine.
Let me look it up.
He's the co-star in Ballers. He's in a bunch of things. He's a funny guy. He's bald.
He is bald. All right, that narrows it down.
Not really. Not on Ballers.
I'm not. That is fair. Dwayne The Rock Johnson. That must be who you're talking about.
No, we are next one. Who's next on the list?
The next person on the list is John David Washington.
I don't think it's
Rob
him.
Corddry.
I think he's their boss. Rob Corddry. That's it, I think.
Oh. Well, he would have been the one I actually picked out as bald. The problem is that
Right? Is he Hot Tub Time Machine and funny stuff?
Warm Bodies. Man,
I haven't seen Warm Bodies.
Stuff. Why can't I?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that looks terrible. But he's in.
He's the other reason I watch it because it's him and The Rock are partners, right? So he's hilarious. I really enjoy his kind of his brand of humor. I remember, like I said, I remember him Hot Tub Time Machine and a few other things. Nothing else sticking out right off the top.
I can see him in my head, but in a bunch of stuff. But why can't I remember what he's in?
Can't place it. Yeah.
This hurts a lot.
Do you have the IMDb? Oh, he's on American Dad for a few seasons.
But that's not going to help me recognize.
Well, no.
That
surprised me. I didn't know. Children's Hospital.
I wouldn't be able to pick his.
He was on Workaholics.
His voice out.
Teachers. Hot Tub Time Machine.
He's in a couple episodes of Arrested Development, but I don't think that's it.
He was in Sex Tape.
It might be it.
Community. He was in Community 3 times.
Yeah. That might be it too.
That could be a little bit of it. Happy Endings. Did you watch that show?
No, I did not.
Okay, I think I watched that one, if I'm remembering what it is correctly.
I haven't seen any of the movies that he's in, though.
Pain and Gain, Ben and Kate. I like how we're just going through these. Both just what bits has he been in? He's been in some he was in a College Humor clip.
Yeah, but I never watched much College Humor. The last College Humor bits I watched were What If Google Was a Real Person. That was a good one.
That was a good one. I give them props for that one. Oh, he was in Harold and Kumar. I don't know if you saw that.
I did, but I wouldn't remember. The only people that I would recognize from Harold and Kumar, the Harold and Kumar movie I watched were Harold and Kumar and Neil Patrick Harris, and that's it.
That's fair. I feel like he's very much just based off his things. He's also in I Pronounce You Chuck and Larry. I'm thinking he's just been in a bunch of comedies we've seen.
Yeah, he's just background. Oh, he's background noise, and you're just I know the guy, but damned if I could tell you what he's in.
Yeah, and so, but yeah, but like I liked him in the few things that stuck out, mainly just Hot Tub Time Machine. But he's good in Ballers. He's funny, playing off The Rock.
forgot
You know,
that
the
was the
fact
point.
that like him and The Rock being partners, they play off of the fact that The Rock is a specimen, and that guy, could hit the gym more often and stuff
So
like
it's like
that.
twins, except now.
Exactly. So yeah, I finished Ballers season 3. What else did I watch? I finished season 3 of Legends of Tomorrow. That's one of the superhero shows I watched, Craig. I don't know if you knew that.
I know that is one of the ones you watch.
Okay. Yeah, I just finished watching that on Crave. Yeah, that was just one I was watching. That's one of those ones I put on while I'm cooking, because then I don't have to pay attention because I've already watched it.
Oh, well, that helps then, I guess.
Yeah.
That's what I do with Family Guy.
That's fair. Yeah,
Just
and
be
that's
like, let me put on the Family Guy. Oh yeah, I've seen this episode.
that's a lot of the superhero shows for me when I'm rewatching them, because I'm like, okay, I've seen this a bunch of times. It's just a comforting thing to put on in the background, just
exactly.
listen, join.
You don't even have to be looking at it because you already know what's happening on the screen.
Exactly, and
Just
that's the
listen
big
to
thing.
it and be like, yeah, I can see this in my head right now.
Yeah, because where my counter is and where my TV is doesn't line up, so
Oh yeah, no, I have the same problem. That's why I watch on my phone.
that would drive me insane. I couldn't do that.
Well, that's why I don't watch anything I want to see on a big screen.
Yeah, that's fair. So the last last not thing, but besides the trailers that I watched was the first Harry Potter movie, because I got a few of them on DVD, so that now I have them all, and I'm gonna slowly make my way through them before this next movie comes out, which is Crimes of Grindelwald.
Which I noticed the other one's on Netflix now. I thought about watching it, but I haven't. I've seen one Harry Potter related thing, and I stopped reading after the 3rd book, so I know next to nothing about it.
You can jump into Fantastic Beasts.
I can jump into that one.
Yeah.
All right, so I was considering watching that this weekend, so that's good to know.
Yeah, so you can jump into that one. Like, all I'd say is, like, the stuff that's Harry Potter related, if you knew it, you would enjoy it more because you would know it. Does that make sense? It's kind of like a superhero movie with comics.
Sense. Yeah, well, I can do that. So
yeah,
I jump into everything else without watching.
Exactly. Yeah, and see, like these ones are only they're only kind of based off the books because she's writing them. Like she's written the screenplays for both of these.
They're like spin-offs. It's like watching The Hobbit without watching Lord of the Rings.
Kind of, yeah, exactly. That's the best equivalent, actually.
You don't need to know what happened in the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
To enjoy The Hobbit, because it's a standalone story that falls in the same universe. So if you've seen both, it's a better, more enriching experience. But if you haven't, then whatever.
Exactly, and that's what I put for the same with the Fantastic Beasts ones, and yeah.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah, so I watched first Harry Potter. I'm going to be watching the other ones.
I haven't seen that since it was in theaters.
Since in theaters? Oh wow!
I saw it in theaters.
Well, I did too, but I've seen it 100 times since then.
I was never really that much into Harry Potter. I read the first 3 books. I really liked The Prisoner of Azkaban, but like in terms of reading a novel, and I would totally read that book again, but I just never. Maybe it was the daunting size of The Order of the Phoenix, and then each book after that, which was just stupid. That and I never really I just never could be bothered to get it and then read it.
That's fair.
And I owned the first 3, so I made it through those, but.
Yeah, no, I definitely only read them all because I was given them all for Christmases throughout my childhood.
That certainly helps.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, I got the first 3 for Christmas, and
that's what I figured. Like I know the exact box that you probably have.
Oh yeah,
my brother probably got it.
We probably have the same one. It's like red, green, and purple or
exactly,
something like that. Yeah. Everybody got that box.
The primary color ones, yeah. With like the kind of cartoony drawn covers.
Yeah. Well, because it was pre-movies, right? It was before the movies actually
came out.
Yeah. I can't believe that came out in 2001. I mean, I can.
I know. It just makes you feel so old, though.
But it's like, I remember going to St. Catharines to watch it back when that was a famous Players.
Yeah, no, I saw it at the Seaway, because that's all we went to when I was younger till I could drive. Then I demanded.
Well, that's where I saw good old Agent Cody Banks. That's the only movie I remember seeing as a kid there.
I definitely saw both Cody Banks there as a kid. I love Cody Banks.
It's been a long time since I watched that.
Oh, I have not seen since I was a kid. I cannot say it stands up as something adults should watch, but for kids, it's great spy shit.
Oh yeah. It's like just more intense than Spy Kids.
Yeah, just a little bit more. It's meant for the slightly older. It's meant for the 13-year-old boy crowd, like who hasn't quite hit that I'm too cool for kids stuff phase. You know what I mean?
Exactly. They still enjoy the kid stuff, but it's like closet enjoy the kid stuff.
Exactly.
So it's like Agent Cody
I
Banks
remember not
right
telling
there.
anybody that I liked Cody Banks, but I remember still loving it.
I definitely went and saw it as a birthday party for sure. Back in the good old days when you had kids' birthday parties.
Back when it didn't cost $300 to take a party to the movies.
Exactly. You could bring a handful of kids to the Welland Theater
For $20 on a Tuesday.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what makes me feel old. Movies have tripled in price in my lifetime.
Yeah, I was talking about that today with a couple of people. It's like you can buy $20 movie tickets now.
Yeah, it's...
Because if you want your seat to move, why?
Yeah, that's... Yeah. Speaking of theaters, actually, that kind of leads into the trailers, which is the last stuff I have on my list.
Look at our natural segues. Like,
killing it.
We're radio professionals over here.
So I'm curious about which one you watched. So do you want me to tell you one of the two of mine?
Tell me what you watched, and let's see if that's what I watched. I'll be surprised if we didn't watch the same one.
Well, I feel like one of the two I watched has to be one of the ones you watched, because it's the only big ones that have come out recently. But
I don't watch
many
trailers.
Yes.
So it would have to be something that's attention grabbing, and we'll explain why.
This is tough. I want to say it was the Detective Pikachu one you watched.
You better friggin' believe I did.
I'm so glad you watched that one, because it was so great.
So Deadpool for children.
Deadpool for children, yes.
Deadpool for families is basically what I described it
International Deadpool for children.
International Deadpool for families, yeah.
Because he can play multi things, yeah.
Yeah, so when I first heard of the concept...
Oh, yeah, I was like, what the fuck?
I knew absolutely nothing about this. And they were like, they're making a Detective Pikachu movie. And I was like, whatever, straight to DVD.
Yeah.
And then I saw it again on my feed amongst all the Stanley
yeah. Oh, we didn't even mention that.
We didn't even talk
all.
about that. Well, Stanley is making a cameo on the Forgot to Grow Up podcast. And I have said it in the past on this show that I'm not a fan of his cameos, but this one I am.
Rest in peace, Stan.
Yes,
we will miss you.
Have a very positive contribution to
all
existence.
Our lives.
Exactly. Existence in general. Like, even if you don't like what Marvel has become or what Marvel has done in the past 10 plus years,
you can't argue what it does for the world.
If you ever watched any of the superhero cartoons on TV, it's a direct, like it's directly, he's directly responsible for watching The Amazing Spider-Man. So yeah, you can't say anything bad about the guy.
No, not a single thing, and he'll be dearly missed. I know I'll miss those cameos. I know you.
They're still going to keep coming out.
There's going to be a couple more. I'm hoping. My one thing is, I hope maybe as like a little homage,
they should bring him back like a Grand Moff Tarkin type idea where he just kind of comes back in the background. Yes, do it. This is the one time that I am in favor of these cameos. Bring him back in CGI form.
No. Please don't do that. I was thinking. A couple of his cameos are him just as a poster in the background of movies. I believe that was the first Deadpool. That was his cameo, was as just a poster. Don't quote me on that for sure, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was. But if not, in the future, it'd be really cool if that's just how it was. You know, like a comic book with somebody like they just have that in the background and it's a little bit more visible. Or one of his old interviews is just on a TV in the background and that's his cameo.
Bring him back as CGI. Do it. Listen to me, Marvel. You don't make very good business decisions when you bring out Solo in the middle of nowhere and then try to compete against yourselves from a business perspective.
That's a different division.
Listen to me.
Disney's like a family, and sometimes the brothers butt heads, okay? Sometimes they got to prove who's the bigger brother, okay?
Maybe if you're Star Wars, you don't, play the dick waving contest with Solo. Maybe you do that with Rogue One. I don't know. Maybe.
I'm not arguing
all I'm saying is if you're going to do it, don't show up on a cold day. Show up with the prosthetic.
Oh no, we got onto that. We were talking about Pokemon, for God's sakes.
Yeah. Well, because the point was that it showed, so Detective Pokemon showed up once, and I was like, whatever.
Yeah.
That seems stupid. Then it showed up again, and I saw that it was live action. I was like, what the why? And then eventually somewhere along the line, I got to voiced by Ryan Reynolds, and I was like, all right, I guess I gotta watch this trailer. I gotta at least watch the trailer. Because
yeah,
why would you make this movie? And I don't know if I actually like the concept.
I love the concept.
I think it looks really dumb, and I'm not gonna like it. It seems like it's set. It feels like it's setting me up to be a Ready Player One. You watch the trailer and you're like, oh, that actually looks like it might be an all right movie. And then you watch it and you're like, all of it was in the. Oh, you disappoint me.
That's always a possibility with any of them.
The only good part of that movie is going to be Ryan Reynolds. You heard it here first.
Well, I think the visuals looked pretty cool. I heard this one thing that like the theory is maybe that instead, so like the traditional Pokemon story is about a Pokemon trainer, but that's kind of a iffy thing nowadays. Like,
oh, he's not a Pokemon trainer. He always wanted to be a Pokemon trainer.
Yeah,
I've seen the trailer twice now.
But what I mean is like the idea of, a human taking Pokemon and using it in battle is a little bit of an iffy topic to make a movie.
So maybe they're like, but he's a detective. I don't know how they're going to swing it together.
Well, so this is what I'm trying to explain. So the idea is that the detective part is that's the excuse for them to have to go around to the different regions and the different gyms in a sense, or gyms, because they don't have the gyms really, I guess. But you know what I mean? Like just an excuse for them to be able to go investigate and see a bunch of Pokemon, which is the only part I want to see, to be honest. I just want to see the live action Pokemon, what they do. I thought they looked pretty cool.
Yeah, no, that Charizard was intense.
Yeah, and like I thought the Pikachu looked pretty cool. So I'm just, I mainly just want to go check out that world.
Fuzzy Pikachu, which is a thing I'd never even thought of.
Yeah,
fuzzy Pikachu.
I know what you mean, but to me then it makes sense though, because he's a mouse.
Absolutely.
He's
it
a mouse.
Absolutely does. It's just it never, like, in my head, never once thought. He's cuddly.
It was the Jigglypuff that threw me off, because it had like its mohawk, and then you could see like it had like kind of peach fuzz going on, and I'm like,
yeah,
okay, that makes sense, because like I guess not many animals are very like as smooth as a cartoon would be. Mine is like fish.
I'm worried that we've seen most of the good parts. That's what I don't like. Like the bit with the mime. I don't know Pokemon names, so like if it's
you got pretty close. I'm pretty sure it's. I think
like
it is something like mime or mime. I don't remember. Yeah, I'm not great with them either.
It doesn't matter. I know the three starter Pokemon. That's the important thing.
That is really.
There's so many of them.
Yes.
That it doesn't matter. Like that bit, and then the bit when they're in like the market. And the kid's trying to say, you can hear him, right? Like, you can hear what he's saying. And he goes, Pika, Pika. And they're like, yeah, Pika, Pika. He's so cute. And he's like, you can't hear me. Yeah. I feel like that's pretty much, we've hit the peak there. What could possibly be any funnier than that, really? Aside from, like, a one-off thing that might be said by Ryan Reynolds along the way. Goes back to that's going to be the best part of that movie, which means that the rest of it's going to be pretty disappointing.
This is all possible. I'm still going to go see it.
That's fair. I probably will too, because it's Deadpool for families.
Exactly. International Deadpool. Come on.
International Deadpool for families with a very diverse cast.
Yes. Again, international.
International.
This is a big international play. I'm surprised it was by Warner Brothers as the ones bringing it out. That's what caught me off.
They're trying to hit back.
Well, it's a weird thing because Pokemon's owned by Nintendo, and Nintendo doesn't really make any movies, so they had to license those rights. And Nintendo is notorious for not wanting to do that very often. So that was the part that caught me.
They probably saw cash when they said we can get Ryan Reynolds.
Pretty much, I guess that's what did it.
That's like The Rock making a movie. Ryan Reynolds not being on camera, but just talking is you know what else is like this is based on a video game.
Yep, that only came
Ryan
out.
Reynolds voiced Pikachu in the video game.
Pardon?
Ryan Reynolds voices Pikachu in the video game.
I didn't know that.
I found that out.
Okay.
Either that or someone.
I heard that the game didn't even come out in North America, so that's all I was like, oh, that's why I never heard of this.
Yeah, let me look it up.
I heard just that in a YouTube video, so I can't say if that's for real or not. But
Well, I read mine on Reddit, so you know.
yeah, none of these are confirmed sources. It's funny because I make rant
Exactly.
videos sometimes about how Hollywood doesn't confirm their sources.
We're confirming our sources.
We're trying to.
Producers, shorter downloadable game, release, Canadian game's initial version, Japan, special demo version was released in Japan. Following the Japanese release of the game, dedicated fans started a petition requesting American actor Danny DeVito as the English voice actor for the titular character. That would have been so funny.
That would have been great. Like, seeing that I could see more too, because to me, when I think detective, I think the gruff kind of film noir detective, and Danny DeVito kind of has that.
I don't see anything to corroborate that, so I'm gonna find that person on Reddit and downvote them because that's a bunch of crap.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
Detective Pikachu received favorable reviews.
So it was only released in Japan then?
Film adaptation. It looked like it was planned to be released in.
Oh, okay.
The film stars Justice Smith, Catherine Newton, Ken Watanabe, with Ryan Reynolds as the voice of Detective Pikachu. Warner Brothers Pictures will distribute it outside Japan. Legendary Entertainment is the one making it.
Oh, I guess that makes sense now then. Okay.
Danny DeVito would have been hilarious.
That would have been a good pick. That would have been a good one too. I would still equally have been excited to go see Danny DeVito do this as well.
Yeah, that would have been good.
But
hang on. I'm getting there.
Yeah.
Voiced by Kaji Tang.
What the?
Kaiji Tang? That's the name of the guy who does Detective Pikachu's voice.
Oh, in the game?
In the game. Yeah.
Okay. That's definitely not Ryan Reynolds.
That is not Ryan Reynolds. I either misread or someone's a freaking liar on the internet, which never happens.
That never happens on the internet.
No one lies on the internet.
No.
But that's okay.
Yeah. So the last
What was the other
I
trailer
watched-
you watched? Yeah, what was
That
the
was
other trailer?
Toy Story 4, which wasn't really a
Ugh.
trailer. It was just a little teaser. There's not much to it.
Ugh.
You don't need to really watch it. But they also had a second
No.
one, which was called a teaser reaction, which was Key and
sounds-
Peele, because they're now in Toy Story, doing a bit that they've already done before, but with Toy Story instead.
All right, maybe I'll watch that.
That one
'Cause
you'd
I
probably
don't-
prefer, yeah.
I have no interest in a Toy Story 4. I had no interest in a Toy Story 3. I, quite frankly, being too young to have an opinion, still didn't have an interest in a Toy Story 2. I like Toy Story. I couldn't tell you what the plot of Toy Story 2 is, but I know what the plot of Toy Story is.
I love them all. I was a big
I
Toy
really
Story
like-
guy.
Really
I
like
was
Toy
kind of on
Story.
your same page when the third one came out. The second one, I was a little bit more. I was still young enough that I was kind of okay with it. I think I don't remember exactly how old we were now. Actually, the third one I remember being a little bit more hesitant about, but then they brought
Toy
it out,
Story
and
3
I
came
thought
out?
it did it justice enough. And so that's why I'm holding my reservations for this one.
I don't like this. 2010 is when it came out, so we were still in high school when Toy Story 3 came out.
Yeah, no, I meant Toy Story 2. When did that one come out?
Oh, Toy Story 2.
You know, I got 3 as a DVD in high school, so I remember that. Yeah, I know.
1999.
Okay, yeah, so
Jeez,
we were
it's a
definitely
long
still
time
young
ago.
enough for me to have been okay with that coming out. This
I-
explains it too, because I dressed up as Woody and as Buzz for at least half of my childhood, because the other half was just Anakin Skywalker, and then Batman. I had 4 costumes as a child, and I rotated through them till I was 12. Not true.
I remember seeing this movie, but I definitely wouldn't have. I don't know. I don't remember liking it as much as I enjoyed Toy Story.
Oh no, the first one's the best one out of all of them. But I feel like
Absolutely.
the second and the third, for the new generations, like being for them as like a new introduction to maybe go back and then watch it, I'm okay with them. And like I said, I thought they did justice enough to the original that they didn't go corrupting the lore or doing anything completely outrageous. So they're like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they're not terrible sequels.
But at the same time, I haven't watched any of them since they came out. So
Yeah, I haven't. I don't even think I've seen Toy Story 3. I will not be watching Toy Story 4 on principle. I feel like if I can't watch Mary Poppins Returns, then I can't watch Toy Story 4 for the same reason. I'm lumping in the same boat, Scott.
That's fair.
I'm not taking that back. It's on record.
And I'm not going to argue with you about it. I'll watch it
record.
and report back.
So, yeah. So that's the last thing. That was the last trailer.
That's the last of my list.
We're going to do something different this week. I'm going to talk about a thing I heard about this week.
I like rumors.
Yeah, rumors. Have you heard that some... I can't even come up with an offensive, non-offensive slur to call someone. That some idiot, dumbass, fuckhead, I don't know, a name, thinks they want to reboot Shrek. Scott, they want to reboot a movie that didn't come out that long ago.
Yeah, no, I'm on your side on this one. And the worst part is with the same voice actors.
Yeah.
That's not a reboot. That's a fucked
like
up
doing
sequel.
a cover as the same freaking band.
Yeah, no, I'm on your side on this one. I can't argue with you about this. I almost made a rant video about the same thing.
I don't want someone to tell me that Eric Clapton's doing a Cream cover. I don't want to see. Yeah, that was a
nice.
That was a long walk.
Yeah,
long walk for a short joke there. I don't want to see Mike Myers and Eddie Murphy do a Shrek reboot. Why? Why not just leave it alone? I'm already a little bit angry they made as many sequels as they did because they really just hammered that nail.
Oh, I know.
And
as
now
soon
they're
as they
going
got
to
the straight
start
to
it
DVD,
again.
I'm like, you guys killed this.
And now they're going to start it again.
Yeah, and
why?
This one makes me. I agree because I dug the first Shrek. I was into it.
Yeah, it's so good.
I was even okay with the second one. The second one was
articles
fine.
on the internet saying why a Shrek reboot is a great idea.
That's just dumb. They're all dumb. I agree with you on that one. It's just it's so fucking lazy. Like, it's this.
Yeah.
It's this stupid like business running like. Market research says, well, not market. It's not even market research. It's just that they know certain things have already made the money. So they're like, oh, we can just do that again. And it's like, well, fuck off. Like,
we're not that dumb. Come on.
Well, some people are. That's the problem. That's the number one problem is that some people are. And it's like, oh, fuck off. You people who are going to go see the new Shrek. Like, ugh.
People will lap it up because it's going to be done by the same guy that made Despicable Me, which in and of itself is a tired franchise. So this guy is just looking at kicking up tired franchises.
And that's the part that baffles me too, because it's like, well, you guys came up with Despicable Me. Like you came up with a new franchise after Shrek. Come up with another one.
You can retire.
Just come up with something new. Like,
that's the one thing that I am more angry about a Shrek reboot because it just makes me feel like the people that came up with this idea think that we're all really, really, really stupid.
No, I
hate
agree.
it more than I hate the Mary Poppins reboot.
Yeah, no, I'm on your side because at least the Mary Poppins reboot has the it's
been a long time and Dick Van Dyke's at least in it.
Exactly, both of those.
I will give
it's
it
like
that
it's technically
credit.
a sequel, not a reboot.
Exactly. That's true, but I'm still not gonna watch it.
No, and I get that, but this is like rebooting this. It's like it's just dumb, and it's so, like I said, it's so lazy. Like, you guys can't find some writers. Like, Hollywood is full of writers. It's literally packed full of people who dream it is just to write stuff. If Hollywood doesn't have
a bunch of people who write you really funny crap,
I'll do it right now. It might not be the best, but I can come up with stories.
I bet you we can come up with something that's better than a Shrek reboot.
We've done at least 3, maybe 4. Hey, listen, Hollywoods, we've got material, okay, guys?
They could make the commish animated and for families. Like, it's not that hard.
I'm blanking on all the other things we've ever tried to pitch besides my idea for how to reboot Firefly, which I'm still 100% on board with.
We redid a lot of stuff. I'd have to.
It's been a while too. Like, we haven't done one in.
Well, we did the Thanksgiving stuff or whatever.
Oh, did we do that one?
Or we did something where we did.
Was it Halloween?
It might have been, or it was like
School.
fall.
It was school.
Yeah, no, it was fall.
Yeah.
Fall stuff. Rom-coms. That's what it was.
Yep. That's.
It was the fall romantic comedies. Was that before
Yeah,
or after?
because
Adam
mine was
Sandler?
pumpkin spiced something or other garbage.
Yeah, yours was really good. I
See,
would
Hollywood,
watch
you could
that.
use that pumpkin spice garbage shit.
Yes, the old Hey Listen Hollywood Pumpkin Everything edition.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Like they could make my pitch, which was It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, except do it as a CW show.
There you go. See, Hollywood, we're
See?
coming up with even more ideas that we've
Universal.
already told you about.
Exactly. Just go back and listen to a couple episodes and then come pay us.
Yes, we want
So
those
yeah,
royalties.
I just obviously
Yeah.
these guys are pretty greedy. Is basically the point.
Yeah, no, I'm totally on your side with this one because it's got no reason. There's no reason. It hasn't even been 5
No.
years since the last sequel, and like
Shrek came out in 2001, so
it's not even 20
that
years
would be
old.
that would be like saying, all right, we
Matrix.
are Warner Brothers, and I was Matrix. I was
That
going to
is
say
Warner
we are
Brothers.
Warner Brothers, and we are going to reboot the Harry Potter series.
Yeah, that's an even better
with
one to go
Daniel
with.
Radcliffe. Anyway,
Yeah, he's still alive. Like, see, that's the part that like would get to
just
me too.
because
As like
he's
the other
17
guys, like
years older doesn't mean anything. We'll just put him back in the beginning role. It's fine. It's fine.
he's like
Mike
30
Myers
now.
and Ed. Yeah, exactly. Mike Myers and Eddie Murphy haven't been relevant since Shrek came out, but we'll do it anyway.
Yeah. Oh god, I just. Yeah, no, I'm on your side on this one. Leave Shrek alone.
Yeah, just stop it.
Be original Hollywood. That's the hashtag I'm gonna go with from now
That's all
on.
we're
Be
asking
original
for.
Hollywood.
Some of us are like, yeah, okay, so people will go and see a Ghostbusters reboot that's all right.
But see that even like that one like didn't do
That one
financially
is
well enough that it's like it justifies them keeping doing this
But it's,
garbage.
and it's still allowed because at least Ghostbusters came out in the 80s.
yeah, that's what I mean. Like give
And
it at
not
least like
This friggin' century. It's basically the same decade at this point.
It
Almost.
really
It's-
is,
It's
like-
last decade. So it's like redoing an 80s movie in the 90s. What were you going to redo Ferris Bueller's Day Off?
like
Like, what?
I know I'm on your side on all this. Hollywood.
I'm not even arguing with you. I'm just yelling.
I know
because
we're
I'm
both just
angry.
agreeing with this.
We're yelling in the ether
yeah.
about nothing. Anyway,
And hence our
on that-
podcast.
on that note, no one will. Andrew will listen to this. Hi, Andrew.
Hi, Andrew.
You missed the opportunity to yell aimlessly about things.
He'll join us next week for plenty of
Yes, he.
aimless.
Yes,
as
he
long as
will.
he has his
If
power
his-
back by then.
Yeah, if his town steps out of the 1800s,
Which doesn't guarantee. That's the sad part.
better light the gas lamps.
We
All
love you,
right.
Campbellford. Our home away from home. Away from home.
Yeah, no kidding, eh? The genesis of the Forgot to Grow Up podcast.
Yeah, that's true. We do owe that town a lot. We do want it
Yeah.
to be safe in the dark.
Yes. Good
Even
luck
though
if
this
your
is going to come out
flashlight's
so far after their power was out.
Yeah, exactly. The two people who listen to the podcast from Campbellford are going to be like, "Hey, it's our town.
Hey, we got to
And
mention.
we got our power back." Anyway,
Yes, thanks for
thanks for
listening this
listening
week, guys.
Yeah. See you next week. Bye.
Bye.